Mm-hmm.
All right, we are live, and by the looks of it, guess what? It's thirsty. No, it's not thirsty Thursday, but the cast chuckling in the background is, and I want to welcome the Thirsty Thursday cast, 2/3 of them, and the Western Mass Turf cast, both of them, onto the show. Let's talk lawns, guys. Welcome. What's going on? We're
Thank you
live.
for
Hello.
having us.
Yeah,
Go ahead
really
and
appreciate
introduce
it.
yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having us, for sure.
There's not
Yeah.
much introduction that needs to be done, but go ahead and feel free.
My name's Matt. Sometimes I go by the Grass Factor. I'll do the regular same old there. It's Friday. I've got deadlines all over the place that I need to have done by about I don't know 4 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, just another day in paradise. Being a business owner and questioning your sanity every damn step of the way. Typical Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, and of course, I'm the Green Duck, checking in all the way from actual supposed paradise. Yep, just and I mean, I'm going to call it what it is. I call this effed up Friday. Let's be truthful.
I like
Go
it.
ahead, Brent. Go ahead, Brent.
I'm next, huh? Yeah, I'm Brent. I'm from Western Massachusetts. I have a channel called Western Mass Turf, and I bring a little bit of comedy and education to the area. But I'm also a business owner too. So we have about 600 lawn care accounts, and I'm also questioning my sanity at this point. So
I keep wondering when is it going to get better, and I don't have the answer to that yet. And I'm at this point I'm not sure it actually exists. There is no point it gets better. People just act like it does.
I'm still
It's all
waiting
in the
for that.
mind.
I'm still waiting for that day where you talk about enjoying being in the backyard, looking at the pond and the nice air and the Matt.
It's not real.
No, it's not real.
We'll all find out when Ray retires.
What? Yeah.
Go ahead, Busy.
I'm busy. Also, Michael, I'm on Western Mass with Brent, and I question my sanity being in the transition zone all the time.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Deal with both sides, cool and warm.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like Matt says. We can grow it all. We can't grow anything well.
It's the God honest truth.
All right. Well, as you guys know, every single one of these gentlemen are super busy throughout the day. And I want to take the time right now and thank every single one of them for joining in. Today's topic, we're actually going to talk about how I feel DIY is slowly dying and pros are coming up as clowns nowadays on YouTube. Now, quick disclaimer, because of last time's live and I do not have videos to show you guys, I'm going to kind of just draw out the things that I have seen and you could give your inputs, because last time the live didn't end so well. Actually, it got removed from YouTube.
What?
It did. Funny story is I was kind of drunk. I don't remember half of it, but
It
I
sounds
know
perfectly normal to me.
but all I know is that YouTube gave me a strike and removed the video.
Oh,
That is lame as hell.
That is. So guys, first of all, we'll start with the DIY. And as all of you know, I kind of started as a DIYer and I slowly progressed into the semi professional field. So I'm a semi pro, and I like to call that. I'm very proud of it. And call me the Will Ferrell. And The thing I want you guys to just get out your chest right now is I'm pretty sure I have been under the radar in the past, and I know Busy has, matter of fact, told me a couple of things sometimes. So Busy, from the time that I started to where I am now, go ahead and give me your thoughts.
At first, I thought you were one of those buy my shit motherfuckers like Alan Hain, like let's say John Perry, anybody that sells brown water. Let's go Ginger, let's go Princess. Uh, the one that now has his entire prison record sent up when we searched that link. Thanks, Jay Pink. But from the time I met you till
What?
now, you're still my favorite, not Mexican. And with you talking to me and
I'm
Ray and everybody
Cuban.
else,
I'm Cuban.
I'm Cuban, B.
he's my favorite, not Mexican. Okay, but from where you started, where you are now, you're gonna question your sanity even more when you get on our level.
Oh yeah, I know I will. I definitely know I will. Um, Ray, I know you have told me before you're very happy on how I progressed lately. And I'm talking these terms because I was a DIYer and I'm slowly progressing into the professional field. And your thoughts on how I was as a DIYer and how things are progressing now?
Yeah. At one time, I honestly thought, oh my goodness, this guy, get him out of here. And after speaking with you and getting to know you, thankfully, my opinion of you has changed, because the difference is that we got to talking, and you know what I appreciated the most is that you started asking a lot of questions, and people, they get concerned because they know that they have me pinned down, and they're asking me question after question for like the next 4 hours. And I got to tell you, I don't mind that. I really don't mind that, because you see, if I answer one question of yours that keeps you from doing something regrettable, I think I've done my job. Where, on the other hand, I hate to come into the situation where somebody tells me after they've already done it, oh, I did something bad. Now, how do I fix it? And when that happens, I don't have any good ideas. I don't have any good news for you, because oftentimes the only fix for what you've done involves a bulldozer. And the reason why everybody on this panel is laughing is because based
Ray's
on
not
some
kidding
of this,
about a bulldozer.
No.
yeah,
no,
because
Not at all.
based on what we've seen other DIYers do and even other pros do, tell me now, when they mess up, there is no fixing what they did, is there? Put a fork in it, it's done.
Oh, Matt, I'm gonna save you for last. Brent, I know we've kind of met just recently, but I'm pretty sure I've been on the radar before with you. How have you seen me progress?
No, I think anybody that's willing to learn gets an A in my book. I mean, we all start somewhere, right? I mean, you don't wake up and you're born a professional like Ray Ito. So
What? What? Stop!
I'm
Stop,
kidding. I'm
Brent.
kidding.
Because I always like to say that what you're seeing is
It's
me
years.
being in the business for over 30 years.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going on 18 years myself. I've screwed up. I've screwed up things. I messed up so many. I was talking with Jay Lavoie the other night. My very first day doing tree and shrub work in bed weed control, I killed $700 worth of perennial plants. First
Oh.
day.
Ooh.
you know.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So I've made some
When I hear
mistakes.
that, I'm like, well, that's a lawn pro.
Well, okay. Let's see, and then I guess we can talk about how Matt, you're gonna love this one. I once did an overly ambitious tank mix that smoked about 3,000 square feet of centipede grass, just like that.
Yeah, that'll do it. Yard Hard says Ray was tank mixing while he was in the womb.
Yeah,
Matt,
you're all right with me.
Matt motherfucking Martin, as you call me, Dan. But we've had some talks before, and I'm going to tell you, you are one of the first guys that have actually brought me into this side. Just seeing the things that you do, and I'm not trying to, perk you up a little bit so you don't say shit about me, but
No.
watching your whiteboard days, my gosh, I learned so much shit, so much stuff. And I gotta say, when it comes to herbicides and stuff like that, you were my go-to. And everything you did, I appreciate it so much. But I know I fell on your radar at some point.
Yeah, but look, I'll be honest, is that I did not have an opinion. And look, and let me tell you why. Is that at the time, right? Especially in full blown peak, that time period where, and I want to make this exceptionally clear, there is no one that has ever done influencer marketing like Alan Hain did. It should be a case study that people should write about. If Grant Cardone think he understands sales, he needs to watch what Alan did. And it was fascinating because you were either in or you were out, and there was no in between, right? And of course, everybody's going to jump in, right? And especially if you were on the smaller side or just getting started, and you start getting positive feedback, it was an instant feedback loop of, if I'm getting this response, therefore it must be good, right? And so that's psychologically stimulating. And the way he structured and executed that is unreal. Again, I think that should be written down in books. In fact, it was so good, I think it killed influencer marketing in our industry, period. Like, just absolutely wrecked it. So when I saw you, to be honest, my opinion was just, it's a dime a dozen. I didn't think you were bad. I didn't think you were good. I had no opinion because it was the same content that everybody else produced. It was just in an area that I wasn't familiar with. You have to remember, I was 30 years old when I learned that, shit doesn't go dormant in Miami. Like, I had no idea. I was like, dude, what? There's a frost line and Miami is south of it. Like, that's how outside of where I lived in the South, I was just unaware of what else went on. Shit, even in the world for that matter. So it was a pretty big eye-opening experience. But again, I had no opinion because it wasn't just you, Dan. I mean, it was literally hundreds of YouTube channels that were all producing the same content. And if I had to guess, and you can answer me honestly about this, did you get some sort of guide that explained how to talk about products?
Me personally, no, but I was given products to recommend to others.
It didn't come with any notes or anything about, this is what the product does. This is what you can expect for results, or anything of the sort.
No, but I know other companies do that.
Mm-hmm.
They do that. They give you a pamphlet. They say, hey, talk about these things and sell our stuff.
So that's what makes it even more amazing, is that all the messaging was exactly the same without any coaching. That is bananas. That is absolutely bananas, because you could watch literally 100 different videos and hear and see the exact same thing. And I checked out of YouTube, then, and to be honest, I haven't re-engaged since. just because I mean, I literally watched influencer marketing die. And the other aspect of that too is that I learned, you know, when it became so aggressive about the sides that, for instance, if I did a video of like when I did a video with Ben, the lawn guardian, who is the nicest human being on the face of the planet. There is no one. I'm sorry, Dan. I love you. Ben is 10 times nicer than you are. It's unreal how nice that guy is. And but you know, I did a video with him, and then he gets exiled. He gets excommunicated. You know, he lost his job over it. And that was when I was like, what in the world? What is going on? This is not normal. This is not okay. This is not like an online bickering fest, you know, Twitter dick measuring contest. Like this is deeply personal, like on a whole nother level of personal, that if you talk to the wrong person, you get exiled. So it's a very long story. I'm sorry. I love to hear myself talk, but I had no opinion, because it was the same rinse, recycle, repeat content that I had already seen. But I'm gonna take it one step further, Dan, is that there is one thing that I also saw in common with people when they kind of realized what was going on. That, and it was I don't know. Everybody has their own, you know, kind of epiphany, and it's like, well, why? Hang on, is this? Am I being sold some shit here, or am I being sold some shit? It smells like it, tastes like it, feels like it in my hands. I think I'm being dealt some shit here. Is that then you watched the breakup happen, and they all went identical, right? I think the most extreme form of that is the organic lawn warrior. Do you remember he actually went through the 5 stages of grief? I can't recall what they are off the top of my head, but you know, when you lose a loved one and you go through the 5 stages of grief, Organic Lawn Warrior went through that, and then he got stuck on one of them, and I can't remember which one of the 5 stages it is, but that like prompted him going nuts with all his, you know, YouTube shorts and TikTok videos that he was doing, you know, just shitting on Alan any and every which way he could, because he was so hurt. He was so hurt, and I mean, I don't blame him. You know, when you create your whole brand under this identity that you are the organic lawn warrior. You're not just a warrior for lawns. You're the fucking organic lawn warrior. And then you find out everything you haven't been doing is organic at all. I mean, it was like, you let me build my whole brand on a lie, and then you didn't tell me. So anyway, it was interesting. It's not just the fact that all the messaging was concise. What was even more interesting was watching the separation happen. Don't get me wrong, I went through my own, right? I mean, you could go through my catalog and watch everything where I start realizing what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So anyway, it was when I saw you go through that, I was like, Dan, let me tell you, I know what you're going through. I've been there, and I will give you a soft place to land. How about that?
Yeah. And I would say that the information on this Discord, even if it's not this one, what's the other one?
The long form Discord.
The long form Discord. Mm-hmm. The information that you guys get there is hell of amazing. You know, free advice. You know, yeah. You don't need to buy a booklet. You don't need to buy a pamphlet or buy anything of this. It's free advice. Now, with that being said, what I was trying to get into is I've noticed at least in my professional side, DIY has slowly died. I have gotten so much customer calls, and I walk into their garages or their storage or their sheds, and I see gallons of, not going to name the companies, but gallons and gallons of stuff, and they're just like, hey, I'm done, take all this shit and sign me up. I don't want to do any DIY anymore. I don't know what's going on with my lawn. I've been told there's channels out there that they just put stuff down, but they don't explain what they're putting down. How's it going to affect their lawn? Why am I getting this fungus? Or they're just telling me, get this fungicide. It's going to work for everything. It didn't work for that. You know, and they're like, I don't know what the hell's going on with lawn. I thought I did. You know, I'm watching all this YouTube stuff, but nope, handle my lawn. And I'll go and I'll handle their lawn, sign sign up a new client and get a lot of free shit. At the end of the day, half of the shit I don't even use. But I've started noticing a trend that DIY is actually slowly dying, and you could actually see that on some channels. Views are going down.
Oh yeah. time.
Some channels, they don't even post as much as they used to anymore because they're like, I'm not making any money. I'm just wasting my time on this shit. And I don't know. What are your thoughts? What are you guys seeing out there? Do you guys encounter anything like that?
I've got an opinion on this, and understand opinions are like assholes. We all have one, right? But my opinion is that we are seeing the rebound effect from COVID, right?
Yeah.
Everybody went to work from home, and the initial part of work from home, you weren't eating out, so there was, from a cash flow standpoint, everybody had a little bit more money in their pocket. Then the government checks were showing up, and I was rich bitch, and it was like, man, what am I buying? I'm buying a new desk, I'm getting new monitors. And then other people were like, I'm getting RGS, I'm getting Barricade, I'm getting Freedom Furt, I'm doing any and everything that I can buy that I've ever wanted for my lawn. I'm doing it right now, baby, right now. And so you had all these people that had all this idle time. They're trying to figure out what to do, and they're stuck in their house. And they said, I got to get the fuck out in the yard. So they get out in their yard, and they tried. They had fun, and it was their escape. Well, then the real world returned, right? COVID has ended for all, intents and purposes, and everybody returns back to the real world. And then it was like, holy shit, I do not have time. I'm back to the grind. I don't have time to be in my yard. I don't even have time to mow my grass. Every hobby that I picked up during COVID, I've completely quit at this point. Now I've got a garage full of $1,000 worth of shit that I got from my stimulus check, and my cash flow is nowhere near as positive as it was before. And please God, someone get my memory out of my garage of blowing $1,000 on lawn products, and I'll pay someone $600 a year to do it, and I never have to fucking think about that mistake I ever made again.
I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that. It started in the COVID. Everybody had time on their hands. They went out to their lawn. They said, well, you know what? It's time to fix my lawn. Now they don't have the time. And they don't know actually what they're doing because nobody on YouTube is actually explaining what they're doing. And shit is just going sideways now.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
And Super made a good point here, and I'll bring him up. Joe was actually one of the first guys to actually notice that, and I would say yes, he did. He did.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is what we'll see now, that people actually started to get into the green industry during that time, and I think the shows that talk about growing or controlling a lawn care business or anything in the green industry is going to start to have an uptick. Where your expenses go, how to maintain trucks on the road and things like that. I think there's going to be not a major tsunami of it, but I think you'll see a rise in views in those areas.
Yeah, it could be possible. Primarily speaking, that phase is gone, and I kind of almost joined that phase when I came around. My whole idea was to show how I grow my professional business, because that was my first videos. I was going out there mowing lawns, to seeing how it progresses, because that's something that I wanted to do. And I got fed in the head that, hey, professional channels are not what's it now. It's DIY channels. So you have to do DIY. You have to show people these products. You have to do DIY type products. And to be greatly blunt out here, none of those products came into my radar when I was growing the fuck out of a lawn that I had nothing. I literally had nothing in my lawn but goosegrass, nutsedge, sand, and a little bit of St. Augustine. That motherfucker took me 4 years to grow. 4 goddamn years of not trying these other products out, but more Site One products and Home Depot products and stuff like that, and mostly Scott's and stuff like that actually worked. When I started throwing shit down in my lawn, in my yard, my lawn was already grown. It was beautiful. It was just
Doing
like
the
a
Scotch Southern
maintain.
fertilizer and stuff.
What'd you say?
The old Scotch fertilizer, the Scotch Southern.
Oh yeah.
That's one that I still like to this day.
Hey, don't talk bad about Scott's Southern Turf Builder, because in a pinch, guys, did you know that for me works very well on shortcut warm season grass as a nitrogen source?
In a
Okay.
pinch, Centipede in St. Augustine, I'll hit a Ace Hardware.
Yep. I mean, I will not speak badly of it, because where else, guys, do you find almost a greens grade fertilizer that costs less than these days $75 a bag? Where do you find that? And is readily accessible to a consumer, because reality is that, like where I'm at, a consumer walking into a wholesaler here in Hawaii is immediately told, get out. You understand? Get out. Because we don't have Site One here. We do have Nutrien and Simplot, and at least in my state, Nutrien and Simplot exists with the understanding that they do not do business with consumers.
No, you need a license for it.
Yep, you need to be in the business. Exactly. I mean, they don't want to see non-professionals cross their doors.
So now there's new channels popping up in the last 1 to 2 years, and most of these channels that I'm seeing, you know, what I am seeing is people dumping 10, 12 products into a 4-gallon backpack sprayer,
Oh God.
spraying it on their lawn and calling it good. Now, I'm not talking about the older channels in DIY. They'll spray 1 or 2 products and stuff like that, and that's fine. But these new guys,
Man.
I'm talking about how deep are your pockets?
Well, they got an advice for somebody on YouTube says all your wallet can afford.
So for you guys, I'll leave this up to you guys. What is the consequences and what could happen of spraying 10 products in 1 4-gallon backpack sprayer? And I could just, we could talk about pH, we could talk about gunking, we could talk about whatever you guys think. What are your thoughts on that?
Well,
That's
hey,
a very expensive cement mix.
Well, hey, what 4-gallon backpack has fucking agitation that you need, like we have on our ride-ons or our skids?
I can think of another one. Is what if you create something that is incompatible, and the incompatibility shows itself in the form of you just torched your entire lawn?
Yeah.
Don't ask me how I know. And the reason why,
We're
to
going
this
back
day,
the
I'm
board,
extremely, the reason why I'm extremely careful about what I tank mix together, and specifically looking at the label for that section that says do not combine this with this, is because that is how 20 something years ago I ended up owing somebody a brand new Centipede grass lawn. And that was me thinking that I could do everything in one application. Yes and no. Because here's the reality of it, is that it looked okay the moment I did it, and then I found out a week later that it was all dead. Okay. It was all dead. I mean, it was like totally dead. And it was exactly the opposite of what I had intended. And I don't know if I told you all this. What exactly I put together that caused everything to die?
No.
I have an
No.
idea, but I'm not sure.
But we could share it here.
Okay. Guess what happens when you combine Basagran, atrazine, crop oil, and iron, all in a tank mix?
Well,
Trees
I
die.
don't, I don't know how you kept that in suspension first.
I have sprayers with agitation, busy bees. Remember, I always
That's hella agitation right there first.
yeah. That's because my sprayers were designed to deal with all of the chunky stuff like mancozeb 7 chlorothalonil, because this was back in the 1990s. That's why. So anyway, I put this together, and a week later, grass is dead. And I'm not saying just a little bit, I'm saying dead. So this is where, when I tell people, maybe you don't want to put all of that together, I'm speaking from experience.
And you do it. I mean, I don't know why they would people miss out on this. It's actually very common in our industry. If you're a professional lawn care applicator, is that you test a jar test, a compatibility test.
Yes.
It's on the
Mhm.
label, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I think that's
Explain a jar test, Brent.
so you're mixing, you're taking a clear jar, you're mixing the products together, whether it was with water or not. It depends on the test you're doing. But if you see any clumping or you know, things falling out of solution out of it, then it's not compatible. You can't have that thing going out on a lawn because you're changing the chemistry, or it's just not going to mix right.
Yeah.
Or it'll clog your spray equipment in the worst possible way, and you're going to be digging a brick out from the bottom of your sprayer. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Been there,
You
done
know-
that.
I think I think this is another one of those things where people are so desperate to be a differentiator between what's out there, because you're around it long enough. You know, you notice, you see what the trends are, you see what everyone's doing, and so much of the same content. Like when you're out and you're applying something on the lawn, right? How do you make it unique? Well, you make it unique by making it so extremely absurd what you're doing, right? And so you're trying to capture like the shock effect. You're trying to make sure it's something that no one else has done before. You maybe think about it from a standpoint that, oh, people have asked if I can mix these two things, and then people have asked if I mix those two things, and then I'm going to take everything I've ever been asked and combine it all into one and then run with it. And it's so absurd. I mean, it is so absurd to watch it, and I don't know. It drives me bananas, especially when, again, I do a lot of chemistry at my day job, right? And when you spend so many hours per day making sure the chemistry of what you do works out. And then on the flip side too, is that when you fail in your chemistry and then you end up ruining, you know, $1,000 of raw materials, it's a big shock. But to these people, they have no concept of that, right? And so they don't care if the chemistry doesn't play well together, because it's something else that they get to put on the internet and just pretend like it's novel. I mean, it means nothing to them. It's not the profession. It's purely a hobby, right? It's like building your own drone in the backyard just to fly it into a fucking tree. And who cares if it explodes, right? I mean, it's just what I do. And so it's really difficult for me to look at that and even pretend like it's okay or normal or whatever, because on my side of what I do, I mean, how many people just invest literally shit tons of money to make sure that each of those products play exactly the way they're supposed to, and to see, you know, a damn iron sulfate mixed with phosphorus or calcium nitrate or some stupid shit, or humic acid with everything at a pH of 9. We need to take all our sulfates and raise the pH to 9 for no other reason than just because it looks cool on YouTube. Who gives a shit whether or not it clogs up in my sprayer? And it is so painful to watch. I have to detach. Otherwise, I would lose my mind.
Hey, money ain't shit. We can go buy a $23,000 fucking sprayer every goddamn year. We're
Yeah,
gonna do this for the fucking views.
for the views.
Or
For the views.
it don't matter because the sprayer that they're making a brick in, well, who cares because their sponsor gave them that sprayer. Whereas for me, I have an interest in not making bricks in my sprayer because hell, I had to pay it. And I got to fix it if it stops working. So I have an interest in not making bricks in my sprayer. And furthermore, I have an interest in not killing grass because I know on the other show, we always joke about killing grass. But in my case, yeah, I try not to do that as much as possible. I try not to actually do something where a week later that lawn is dead and it ain't coming back. I try not to do that.
I don't know if I'm that skillful, but I get where Ray's coming from.
Yeah, I mean, and when I say try not to kill it, I was talking with Eric over in Indiana this morning, and I told him, yeah, my kind of mistakes or a mistake in my area, can you say $50,000 to $100,000? Not $50 or $100, 50 to 100,000. Add some zeros,
That is a costly mistake. Do
Mhm.
not want to do that.
And okay, there's a clause in liability insurance. If you sign up for business liability insurance, there's a clause whereby acts of negligence are not covered by your policy. So do not be negligent.
Mm, yeah. It's coming out of your pockets.
You are going to figure out how to fix it exactly, and it's not like you can just walk away from it either. You can't. You cannot just walk away from it. But here's what kind of troubles me and concerns me is that on YouTube, we have all of these influencers telling other people to do things that, one, are violations of the label, and secondly, even more important than that, they have the potential to cause harm to their lawn. And I've been given the argument, well, what do you care what they do? You guys are just being mean. You guys are always picking on these YouTubers, but it's like, hey, these YouTubers, imagine the reach they have in terms of an audience to where you got this guy up on YouTube telling somebody to go do something and showing them how to do it. And they have an audience of, say, so many thousand people. However, what I was made aware of is what happens when that so many thousand people then talk to their friends on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You see the multiplication. It's a not so good thing multiplied exponentially at that
Right.
point.
Right. Pick one of the dads that we make fun of all the time on Discord. Which one? Got one in mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the reach they have.
Yeah. I mean,
They are not doing what we do every day yet.
Mhm.
They don't do it day in, day out. They do it for the views. They do it for the clicks. They do it for the, oh, I get paid this way.
Yeah, you get paid this way. However, it's not only their views, because then I realize the effect of, you see it on YouTube, and then you go back to your Facebook groups and you have all of these people then following what you do on Facebook, and it just multiplies from there, doesn't it?
Tenfold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just multiplies, right? Exponentially. So you might think, oh, the DIY is dying, Dan, but I have another way of looking at it. I think DIY is killing itself. DIY is self-destructing because it's doing all of these things. And when you were mentioning these people's garages full of all of this stuff that they spent money on and they realize is not worth a darn.
I'm assuming brown water.
Brown water kind of stuff, or else these nonsense granules that don't work very well. I'm just thinking now, they have all this stuff. They were told to buy all of this stuff by these influencers, and it is all a scam. It's all a scam. And then, of course, when we were talking, several months ago, I told you, yeah, Dan, a lot of this stuff is a scam. It doesn't work. It totally doesn't work. And I don't care how much you apply of these scam products, but the realization will come that, hey, you're doing this and it doesn't work. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work. And I had an
There's
interesting.
There's a good amount of stuff that I've tried. It doesn't work. There's a pinch. There's a pinch of stuff that I've grown fond of. It's my little go-to spray here and there or whatever. But I'm coming out clean. I have told many people, many folks,
Me and Ray especially.
try to guide them into the right direction, because they're asking me, well, why did this happen or why did that happen? And I'm like, well, simply put, buy something else. It's not working.
Yeah, or do something else, because this is really not working. And I gotta tell you folks that the other week I was talking with one of my customers, and at that moment he realized my actual value to him, because he asked me, hey, what can be done for these shrubs and flowers that were showing iron deficiency, and micronutrient deficiency? And I told him, okay, I got you on this, because I have all of those actual chelated micronutrients. And I told him, yeah, you probably can't buy what I'm about to use on these plants. They won't sell it to you. Plain and simple. They will not sell it to you, because in order for you to buy this, you probably got to go to Simplot, and they don't want to sell you anything because you are not a professional in the business. That's just it. I mean, that's what I see, because fortunately for me, all of this crap, all of these jugs of brown water and bags of nonsense, I never ever see that where I'm at. I never see it, because state of Hawaii has essentially declared all of those products illegal for sale in the state of Hawaii, Dan. Can you imagine that? All this brown water stuff, RGS, you name it, it's like may not be sold in the state of Hawaii. Not allowed.
Well, that makes sense. Keep the Philippines out of it.
Yeah.
well,
Sorry. I'm not sorry.
and
So-
more than yeah.
The bag you're spraying are blue, and I know
Yeah.
exactly what that one is. We had a long discussion about that one day
Oh yeah.
with the hydroponics
So,
that I was trying to do.
not to pick on these guys too much and all that. I just, I've caught eye on these newer channels, that they're just God, come on. I've actually reached out to about 2 or 3 of them. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Even when I was showing DIY stuff, I wouldn't mix all that shit. What the fuck are you doing? And then the best part is, well, I'm not sponsored. Yes, you are, because you're a Lynx, even though they're not sponsored by whoever, share a sale, they're still linked to Amazon. And Amazon, you're an Amazon associate and you're going to gain commission from it. So you don't have to be sponsored. You're just going to get the moolah from the shit that you're putting in to your lawn, and it makes no goddamn sense. Particularly speaking, one jackass that completely ignored me.
Was this the one you told me about?
We recently saw a video of him putting 20 products into his 4-gallon backpack sprayer and caught whiff of the gunk that he had in there, that he even ended up switching nozzles because it was just so gunked up.
Oh, I remember that.
one.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that JKT.
Yeah, because I don't know what made me look, but then I noticed, when I was watching the video with Ryan and Matt, I realized, hey, wait a minute. Why is it that so many minutes into the video, he went from one type of nozzle onto his sprayer to a totally different type, and it happened without any kind of explanation as to why? And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Let's just kind of think about this, because he clogged up or gunked up a flat fan nozzle, and the flat fan nozzle has really like a small hole that's easily clogged. And then he switched to this other type of nozzle that I'm familiar with, and it's commonly used in, the rest of the world, in Japan, China, India, the Philippines, Southeast Asia. And you know why they use that type of nozzle over there? Because there's
I need to go ask
there's-
Michael.
there's two huge holes in that nozzle that are rather clog resistant. So that nozzle is tolerant of you trying to push through a mix that has all kinds of stuff in it. It'll
It's too thick. It's way too thick. It's not even water anymore.
When your percent use dilution is greater than like 30% and mud, you need a mud pump in order to move it on. You're not okay.
No, you need a sump pump for agitation.
Yeah, really. I have a submersible agitation pump because of everything I put in my tank.
I'm trying to think now. Wait a minute. Is this more like trying to move grout or, uncured cement? I mean, I've seen those. I mean, that's like incredible that you can push something that's that thick and heavy. I mean, that's basically what they made in their.
Right, pretty much we're running a Stimp 5 on concrete through a fucking air jet.
Essentially, busy
All I
bees.
can think about is the end of Ghostbusters 2. Like that's exactly what I envision, where they slime everybody down.
Yeah, right. I guess you remember that part where they have that thing and they're just like shooting out this like stuff that looks like Jello. Yeah.
Jello,
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that part of the movie, and I
Matt,
thought,
Matt doesn't watch enough movies.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So
But-
Matt, pretty much you're running pendimethalin, you're running atrazine, and you're running bifin, and then you're straining, like you're pulling your strainer filters, and you're flushing your shit out.
Maybe we'll do it like this. It's like trying to mix Carbaryl and Mancozeb in the same tank or something.
No, it's MSMA and Trimec in the same tank. No water.
oh. If you know, you know, or
you know.
okay, I'm gonna show my age. Where I'm gonna drop one for you. I still remember what the 1990s Trimec Plus looked like.
I miss that smell.
I don't know. I was barely born.
I missed that. I missed that product. Period. But then, man, coming out of the jug, that shit looked exactly like the Ghostbusters slime, Brent.
yeah.
It did. It looked exactly like what what that Ghostbusters slime looked like. But the whole point is that when you're making applications, at no time should somebody create a tank mix that resembles that.
Right.
I mean, because what is the other part of the jar test? If your tank mix components create something that is abnormally thick, stop, because it's probably incompatible, right, Brent?
Right. Yep.
Mhm.
Stop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not going to go too long on DIY. We're going to close it off right there. But any closing thoughts on how that part of the YouTube world could fix itself and make it better? Just to give the people out there some kind of thought of what they could do better.
No, I'll be
Rather
a
than
doomer
chasing-
here. A total doomer. And so I was listening to Tony Robbins, and Tony Robbins was talking about how there's certain things that people need out of life, like security, unpredictability, feeling important, love. And I think culturally we have reached max capacity, max velocity on the feeling to need the need to feel important. And this bizarre legacy, and it's not a legacy of creation, it's just a legacy of notoriety, that it's I think if you, I'm not going to say some of these words on YouTube because I don't want to get you in trouble, but if you think about some of the extreme acts of attention seeking behavior that we see even from like a terroristic standpoint, so much of that I feel like is driven by this unsatiable, unquenchable thirst to just feel important or seen or noticed, notoriety. And I don't think that's gonna go away. That's why you see people recording videos. My wife and I was talking to me about this, recording videos of them, doing like WWE moves, the Stone Cold Stunner on like a blind dude in the middle of New York who's, about to cross the street, or an 80-year-old man waiting to get on the subway or whatever, right? It's no longer about, doing things positive in the world. It's a race to the bottom. It's a race to chaos. It's a race to crazy. And if you can't do it through creative or helpful means, you do it by just being absolutely as insane as you possibly can. And I don't think that is going to get better. And so I think what we're going to continue to see on the DIY side is more of this inanity of how wild and bizarre can I get with what I put in my tank and go spray it, because gosh damn it, someone may tell me they think it's cool.
Wow. Wow.
I think those words are right on.
I think the DIY guys need to stick to videos of mowing your fucking grass and leave the fucking treating to professionals. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I mean, I'm not opposed because you saw me go on my rant last night, right? Busy Bees,
Oh, I know.
and you know what my rant was, because here we are, right? We got all of these government agencies looking at what the golf courses and the commercial lawn applicators are doing, yet we're being undermined by all of these DIYers doing whatever they want, however they want. And unfortunately, unlike you and I, the state regulatory agency doesn't have our address and phone number, do they now?
Oh fuck.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, because yeah,
I
because-
do have a little exception there.
yeah, you got a little exception there, but then my whole point is that how else does somebody have the ability to go apply something that has been off the label for residential lawns for the last 24 years? I mean, how can somebody do that? How can somebody do that and
Because it's
tell
justified
people-
by Amazon links.
right? Because how does somebody do that and that be okay or even remotely okay? And the whole reasoning behind these restrictions is it's based on two things. It's actual hazard to human health and the fact that, hey, some of this stuff is really not good for the fish and the shellfish that are in the waterways that then receive this runoff from these lawns. I mean, that's the entire basis. I mean, and I saw an even more horrible one.
Well, right.
Just
Speaking of that, you and me had that long conversation a couple weeks ago about a three-way water allowed with dicot, and we deep dove into that one a lot. And then we brought up atrazine a little bit. And there was somebody else with us. Was it Dan or was it Eric or was it somebody else?
It was Eric. Yeah, Eric was with us at that that night, and it was just about how, hey,
and we pretty much blew his mind on it.
Yeah. So we're not gonna have time to get into the pro side. We all got families. I promise these guys only a 1 hour show. Feel free,
You told me an
whoever
hour
wants
and a
to.
half.
No, 1 hour. It's Friday.
1 hour. It's
Feel
Friday.
free to join this link if you want to stick around. We'll hang out for a little bit after the after show. I'm sure not all of us, but some of us. And on the pro side, I only got two things to say because I'm going to end the show right after it. First of all, if you're listening to pros, make sure it's not 18 and 19-year-olds telling you how to do taxes and create tax invasions and telling you how to
listen to Dan.
how to put supplies of everything that you buy and you don't have to pay the government shit. And the second thing that I have to say is, guys, if you want to start a business, go out there, finance your equipment, make your money back, pay the shit off. You guys on fucking Bermuda Lawn Care Forum shit, you guys are fucking idiots. With that being said, I'm out. I promise these guys 1 hour and we're gonna end the live right there.
All right.
Love you.
Love you.
Guest link in the chat if you want to join. Hit us up after the show.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.